Hello, Belinda. Hello there. I know you're going to work soon. Nice of you to pop in. Hi, Ali. Hello there. I'm knocking everything already. Hello, Dawn. I'm very well, thank you. Are you? I'm glad to be indoors. Hello, Kim. Hi there. So, yes, I'm glad to be indoors because it's snowing quite heavily. Hello, Carmen. Good evening, Nicola. Hi, Patricia. Oh, thank you, Patricia. I thought, well, it's snowing outside, so I may as well create something. Hi, Pat. Hello, Marilyn. Hi, Shelley. And I'm quite hot already. Hi, Carmen. How are you? Hi, Jan. Have you done your exercise, Jan? Mind you, it's a bit cold today. Hello, Victoria. Hello there. I rushed through my shower so I could join in for a little bit. I hope you're still clean, Belinda. I hope you've not missed any bits when you've had that quick shower. Hello, Sue. Yes, it's chilly out there. It is, isn't it, Dawn? Hope you're well, Sue. Hi, Julia. Hello, Mimi. Hello there. Hello, Chris. How's your head? Somebody else had a migraine as well. That might have been Karen. I hope your head's okay. And thank you, Jane. Hopefully, if you've tagged Kathleen, then she can join the live. I can't accept any more friend requests because I've reached the maximum of 5,000. That's why I started a group, because I can't take any more friend requests because that's the maximum for Facebook. So if you have a group, you can have quite a few members. And Belinda says, hello, everyone. Hello there, Helen. Hi there. I can just see Janet's joined. Actually, Patricia, I'm boiling. Ian's turned the heating on in the craft room and it's only a small room, so I feel like, whew. Hello, Jennifer. Oh, I'm glad it's better, Chris. There's nothing worse than a migraine. Hi, Kay. Hi, Christine. So I'm just saying a few hellos before I get started. Thanks, Jane. Hello, Karen. Was it you, Karen, that had a migraine as well? I know there was two of you that had a migraine today. Hello, Vicky. 5,000 friends. Well, I don't know why it doesn't allow me anymore. Drives me potty. Hi, Sally. Hello, Janet. Hi, Bridget. Welcome. So welcome, everybody. So I thought it was a perfect day when it's snowing outside just to do a little Facebook Live and create a nice simple card. Hello, Linda. Welcome. Hi, Catherine. No idea what to do in it, as worried I will get the wrong or something. Yes, I'm going to have a little giveaway because I haven't done one for a while. These holiday times at my work at the grocery are just so busy. Not looking forward to today's rushing shoppers. Yes, it's that time of year, isn't it, Belinda? Hi, Leslie. I can only stay for 5 minutes as my tea is nearly ready. Ooh, enjoy your tea, Leslie. No, it wasn't Karen. I know somebody else had a migraine. I can't remember. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Joanna. And hello, Annalise. Hello there. You're just too popular. I'm not so sure, Vicky. Hello from Germany. Hello, Margaret. Margaret, hello there. Hi, Diane. Hi, Bev. Quite a while, so it's good to see you. Yes, it's good to see you too, Bev. We've had beautiful sunshine, but mightily cold. We've got snow. It's quite thick. Hi, Jill. Hi, Jill. Hello, Ellen. Welcome from the Netherlands. So, yes, so we're going to get started. I know I normally waffle on for ages, but trying to keep sort of a happy medium because I know some people don't like too many hellos. I'm going to try crafting along. So what you need, Jane, is 9 squares because I've done a little bit of prep or else you'd be falling asleep. So you need 9 2-inch squares. So 9 2-inch squares. So you may lag behind because obviously I won't stamp all 9 squares. Thanks, Belinda. Hello, Victoria. I sent the hubby to peel the spuds. I don't blame you. We have tons of the white stuff. Yes, we do, Jill, but Catherine doesn't. No snow there in Hertfordshire. Lovely to see you too, Lynn. Lovely to see you too. So you also need a 6.5-inch piece of square black card as well, Jane. So you may get a little bit behind because I've done a little bit of prep, mainly because you'd lose the will to live if I didn't do a little bit of prep for this one. So it's only a bits of cutting out I've done, so I thought it'd be good. Mine's doing the whole roast. Well, I've actually eaten my roast that my husband cooked. Yay! I'm hoping my Christmas tree will jump out of the box and put itself up. I don't think you stand much chance, Belinda. I'm supposed to be picking my Christmas tree up this week. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm only having a small one this year, I keep saying. But my son wants a big one. Hey up, Carolyn. How are you? Because I'm off to work in 15 minutes. No problem, Carolyn. It will be available on catch up. No problem at all. So I'm going to get started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by... I've prepped some. So what I've done is I've cut some 2-inch squares. And sometimes I just like the background just to look a little bit different each time. Because yesterday, this was the card I created yesterday and posted on Facebook. Lovely bright colours. And I use this background stamp. So I use my rippled blooms. But what I want to do is show that that stamp can look different so that it doesn't look the same each time. So just so you can see those lovely bright colours on there. Some lovely bright colours. Thanks, Patricia. So, thanks, Kathleen. So what I want to do today is I want to use the same background stamp and the same flower stamp and show that it can look different. So it doesn't have to look the same. And also that you can extend the size of the background. So it's nice to show some different ideas with the same stamp. So I was really pleased with those colours. The colours look lovely. Thanks, Jan. And Lynn's had loads more snow as well. So no, I stayed indoors today. I didn't even make it to the gym. So it's called being lazy. So instead of going to the gym, I decided to do a Facebook Live. Hello, Kay. The little blackbird appears everywhere, you know, Leslie, and it'll appear again today. So what we're going to do is create something a little bit different. But first of all, I've got a little giveaway. Now, you don't have to share the video to be in with the giveaway. If you want to share the video, that's great. But this is just a giveaway for one randomly drawn winner. Hello, Vanessa. And it's sunny here in Southern California. Oh, you lucky thing, Kay. So I've got a little giveaway, and this is just for a randomly drawn winner that takes part in the Facebook Live. That's all. And it doesn't matter whether you join the Facebook Live or on the pre-recording. It's no problem at all. So in the little giveaways, we've got one of these little domes, which are quite sweet. I've saved one for myself because eventually I will definitely decorate one. So we've got a little dome. So that's in the giveaway. And we've got some little charms, some ideology charms to go with it. And we've also got this Christmas, these are new, mini file folders. So the little file folders, which I thought would work beautiful as a book. But obviously you're going to get these way before Christmas because I'm going to draw the winner probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll draw the winner. So plenty of time to do something with these. But I also thought you could draw around one of these onto plain card and create a plain book. So perfect if you like your mixed media projects as well. So you could use this one to create something, then draw around one onto white card and create one out of white card. So that's the little giveaway. They're all brand new. None of them have been opened. They're all brand new. So yeah, the file folders are gorgeous. Obviously I've got one for myself, but I bought an extra one so that I could do a giveaway. So I'll draw that winner probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And if you'd like to share the Facebook Live, that'd be much appreciated. But you don't have to be in with the giveaway. And I'll post overseas as well. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to draw the winner randomly. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with my card. Thanks, Kim. And I'm going to start. So what we're going to do is I've stamped 9 of these. So these are 2-inch squares. My pleasure, Chris. So these are just 2-inch squares. And what my aim was is to make sure that this card looks completely different to my previous card and in different colours. Hello, Fiona. Good evening there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my background stamp again, the Rippled Blooms, and I'm going to use my VersaFine Claire, and I'm just going to place a piece of white paper just underneath. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm putting it underneath because when I'm stamping with squares, you can go direct to the card if you want, or you can take the stamp to the card, whichever you prefer. But I always tend to ink more of the stamp than I need, because that way I don't miss any of the parts. And Belinda says, hi, Patricia. Hi, Janet. How are you, Flower? Welcome. So I always ink more of the stamp than I actually need. That's just me, because I don't want to miss any part of the square. And I'm just going to make sure I don't get any straight edges. You're very welcome, Yep, you're very welcome. So I like to make sure I don't get any straight edges on my card. And I'm just going to stamp those squares. Now, what you could do with this stamp is you could literally cut out this flower here and you could create some 3D flowers. So I'm actually going to create a project with cutting those flowers out as well. Now, what you need to do with this stamp is you need to make sure that each square you stamp a different area of the stamp, so that you don't stamp everyone looking the same. I've been poorly with COVID pneumonia. Who was that? Madeline. Oh no, Madeline, I'm sorry to hear that. That doesn't sound pleasant at all. And now there's another strain, isn't there? Good evening, Wendy. There's another strain, isn't there, that's now hit the UK as well. So it doesn't sound good, does it, at all? So we're just going to stamp these squares up. And Patricia says, good to see you too, Belinda. I haven't watched a live in a while. I just thought, with it snowing outside, sometimes it's nice just to do an ad hoc Facebook Live, you know, something that's not planned. So it is nice to sometimes do one just for the sake of it. So the idea of this stamp is that you can use it as it is, like you've seen on my previous card. So you can use it as is, or like I'm doing here, let's just move this out the way. Like I'm doing here, I'm splitting it up so that it's going to look completely different. So it looks completely different. And the idea is that you get more out of your stamps rather than just a one-trick pony. Hello, Diane. You're supposed to be at the garden centre, enjoying your garden centre. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to colour one of the squares, because obviously there's no need for me to colour all 9 squares, because I'm only actually colouring 3 of them in the project. So what I'm going to do is I'll colour one, because you know how the rest will be coloured. They'll be coloured in exactly the same way. And I'm going to be using my Ecoline pens. So I'm going to be using turquoise blue and Prussian blue. Now, I've been and I'm back now. Oh, that was quick, Diane. Did you have a good time? I love a bit of dimension, Julia. You should know me by now. A bit of dimension. So I'm using my Ecoline pens. If you don't have Ecoline pens, you can use your water reactive coloured pencils like your Inktense, or you can use your Distress inks and your Distress oxides. Yes, face masks are now compulsory, aren't they, in shops and public transport. I've been wearing mine the whole time anyway. I haven't stopped. I've been wearing mine the whole time. So what I'm going to do is just spritz a bit of water just there, because this water brush, I love this water brush, but it doesn't flow. It's just that I like the thickness of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paler colour, which is the turquoise, and just add a flicking. I'm just going to flick that colour onto the card. And I'm using Pink Frog card. I've got the pastel set as well, Chris. I ordered the pastel set. Oh, how funny. Now, with the Ecoline pens, I adore the Bristol Smooth card for the Ecoline pens. This is my pink frog card, which also works beautifully as well. Now, what you can do with the Ecoline pens, there's two ways you can colour with them. You can do as I'm doing here, add one colour and then blend it out. Or you can add the two colours in one go and blend it out straight away with the two colours applied. But what I'm going to do this time is just to show you that you can also do it a different way. Take a bit of water on your water brush. These are watercolour. Ecoline pens are reactive with water. So yes, they're reactive with water, Jan, Ecoline pens. But what I'm going to do this time is with the darker colour, I'm going to pick that up with my water brush. And I can see my water brush is getting coated with that ink. It's sucking up the ink from the brush. And the thing with this is it means that I can blend beautifully straight away, just straight from my water brush. And it means I get that dark area just in the centre. And it's entirely up to you how you colour. But it means I can add that dark touch and then I can pick up a bit more water and just blend out the lines. Now, if you want, you can add both colours at the same time and blend them out. But I find that if I pick it up with my brush, my water brush, it blends out even better if I do it that way. So I just do it that way because it's easy for me. So I find that they blend beautifully. And I love watercolour because for me, you know, I'm not the best colourist. And because it's easy to do, the fact that it instantly gives me that darker shade in the centre and then it fades out to almost white. I love the fact that you don't have to be too technical. With these, Kay, I find that I'm not a brilliant colourist, Kay, but what I find is with these watercolour pens, if you're using the right card, I find they blend out beautifully. So I'll do the same again, just so that you can see again. So I'm going to, so at this stage, it's up to you whether you add the two colours at the same time and blend them out. So you could add the darker colour now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to blend that out. And what I like about these is you start with the darker area in the centre and then blend outwards. And it blends out beautifully without leaving me any lines. And then I can pick up my Ecoline colour, my darker colour with my water brush. And then I can add the darker colour, the darker shade to the centre of my flower. And if I'm not happy and it's not dark enough, I can pick up more and then add more depth. And it works beautifully. Now, if you want to create even darker, you can just, dab the colour just around. If you want to add even a darker layer, this is how you get your depth of layer. It's adding, like anything, you add layers. You don't just go in with one layer of colour. And the thing with these pens is they blend out beautifully. And that's what I like. I like the fact is that they're simple. And we'll actually colour our flower as well. Good camera view. I have markers I'm going to try. Oh, brilliant, Joanna, brilliant. But I tend to find that if I pick it up with my watercolour brush, it instantly blends, so it works beautifully for me. Now, what I've done is I've done a little bit of prep, and I've added all these 6 squares to a 6.5 inch piece of black card. Is that how you coloured the orange card with oranges? This was done with Ecoline pens, yes. So I coloured this with Ecoline pens as well. Now, can you see that that background looks completely different to that background, and it's with the same stamp? So it proves that just because a stamp is tiny doesn't mean that it has to be tiny. It means it can be used in different ways. So this time I'm leaving that white space, but we've got the 9 squares, and what I want to do now is bring a little bit more life to my design, and it looks completely different. It means that your stamp set that's shaped like this doesn't have to be shaped like this. It means that you can extend this to a whole 16 by 16 sheet. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Even if you want to create a card that's just DL size, then you can put it going down in 2s, just so it gives you a different look. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got this piece of white card, a circular white piece, which is 3 1/4 inches. So this is 3 1/4 inches. And what I'm going to do is this is going to be added somewhere there, but I've not decided yet. We want to add some more bits to our card. So we're going to do a bit more stamping. Oh, thank you, Sally. I would never have thought of doing that. It just looks different, doesn't it, Linda? It just extends your stamps. So what I'm going to do now is try and pick another acrylic block up, because I'm already getting in a mess, which is not a surprise, is it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate this stamp here, which is the Wildflower stamp, because I want this clock. Oh, it's fine. That's what I'm here for, Julia. I think it's important that I try and show as many ideas as possible with the same stamp sets, and also mixing and matching my stamp sets. Now, this stamp is too big for a border acrylic block, but I only need the clock, so that doesn't matter. So I'm just going to ink up my clock, and you'll be pleased that I've cut one out beforehand. I think I've got something on my stamp, but that's not a problem. So we're going to ink that up and just stamp that clock on there. And this was actually a vintage clock that I added. What was that? Could make some type of box or pen holder using the tile idea. Absolutely, Belinda, yes. You could create it into a box. You could create it into a journal spread. Whatever you wish, you could create it into that. So we've got the clock that I've then got here cut out. We've then got that clock all cut out, just so you can see. So we've got our clock, and I'm going to incorporate that in my design. So I'm just stamped that clock, and I'm only going to use the clock. I'm not using the flowers at the moment. Oh, thank you, Belinda. Yes, the pink card. I've still got that card, still got it. So that's my clock that I want. And then I'm always thinking about what other little bits I can incorporate to make this card look completely different to the previous card. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave the clock black and white, but I'm going to make sure that I colour the flower. So I've got the flower, I'm sure I've got the flower cut out, yes. So I've got my flower, which is from, I've got that many acetates here. So I'm using the worded Petals, which is this flower here that I'm using, the worded Petals. And I'm going to use this here as well. And I'm hopefully going to come up with another design of a card with this one that just uses that on its own. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. My desk is such a mess because I haven't had time to tidy everything away, but hey ho, who needs to tidy? Yes, you could use the little mouse with the clock stamp and do hickory dickory dock. What is it? Yes, that's right, isn't it? Hickory dickory dock. Yeah. I was trying to think whether it... 3 blind mice as well. 3 blind mice. I had to think then. I had to think of my nursery rhymes then. I just went completely blank. That was because Belinda mentioned the clock and the mice. Honestly, my desk is a tip. I couldn't think of the nursery rhymes. So just wipe up that excess ink. And what I'm going to do is stamp the flower. So I just stamp that flower. Again with the Nocturne ink. And then we're going to give that a bit of colour. I love colouring this flower. I like it when I can get a bit of colour on, and it's just lovely to colour. So I'm going to use that flicking motion again, just with my Ecoline pens. What I like about the Ecoline pens is they're so rich and juicy. And I like that. And I like the fact that it's got a soft nib that appeals to me. So I quite like that. So again, I'm using the paler colour first. I bet you thought you had said something. I did at first, I did at first think I'd said something wrong. I couldn't remember the nursery rhymes. It's too much brain power for this time in the evening to try and remember nursery rhymes and everything. So I'll take my darker colour and get that ready. So I'm going to blend these out, blend this colour out. And I just love how you can instantly, even with one colour, you can get beautiful shading. I just love how you can go from the dark colour to the light. Hello, Sue. Welcome. I just love how you just instantly get a beautiful blend. I like simplicity. It's just what works for me. And I just love the fact that it blends out to a very light colour. And you just look like you can blend even if you don't know how to. So just blend them lines out. There we go. So just take a little bit of time just to blend the lines out. And then I'm going to pick up the dark colour again with my water brush. And then I'm going to add a little bit of darkness just to my design. And I will lift this up so that you can see it. I'll lift it up so that you can see once I've finished. I heard you laughing clear over here across the pond. Yes, if you don't want to, you can just scribble it down, Jan, like you would with any watercolour, and pick it up. You don't have to go straight to the pen. You can just pick it up in exactly the same way. It's just me, because I'm colouring like this and I've always got the pen in my hand, I tend to do that. But you can scribble it on the non-stick craft sheet and just pick it up. Just pick up that dark colour. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Always look for a simple way that works for you. Not what anybody else does, just what works for you. And just pick up that dark colour, and then make sure your brush is wet and blend out those lines. Just go around and blend out your lines, just so that you haven't got the lines. So go around again and blend. Let me just lift this up for you now. Just so you can see, you get a lovely blend on that blue. And you get the dark, the light, the medium tone. Just so that you can see that. And it's really easy. And for me, it has to be easy. I don't like it if it's too complicated. Because if I have to spend... I admire anybody that can spend 3 hours colouring one image. I admire that, but that's just not me. I just like to have a beautiful result, but a little bit simpler. That's just me. I just love that. So we've got a beautiful flower. And what I want to do now is I want a little bit more stamping. So I'm going to use this leaf stamp, which again is from the Worded Petals. So, and I'm going to keep the leaves white, just as some contrast. So we've coloured the flower, but I'm not going to colour the leaves. So just ink my leaf. And then I think I'm going to have 2 of these leaves, but thankfully I've cut them out. Oh, hi, Michelle. Jennifer did a reminder. Yes, you can do this with distress and a pencil. Yeah, of course you can, Carmen. Exactly the same as, you know, you've got your water reactive. You know, just apply it to the non-stick craft sheet and colour that way. I just love my Ecoline pens because I find them easy. I find the colours beautifully bright. That's just me. So I'm going to have the leaves and I'm going to keep those in white. Let's just move that on one side. Just make sure I'm not missing any comments. Oh, I'm waiting for Worded Petals to arrive. Oh, thanks, Kerry. Hi, Lindy. I think I missed you before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my containers. So I'm going to use this stamp here from the containers stamp set. So we're going to use like the jar. So we're going to use that one. So I'm doing all my stamping first, just so that I've got everything ready. Then I can decide on the way I'm going to display everything. So I'm going to use my little jar. Hello, Jill. Hello there. So I'm just going to add this because these will be all my elements that I add to my project. And what I'll do is I'll add a little touch of blue to this container. Hello there. Hello, Gabriella. So I'm just going to add a little bit of blue and I can just do a flicking. And I'm just going to add it around the edges, not to the centre, because then I can leave a bit of white in the centre area. So just a little bit here. So I can just leave a little bit of white in the centre area. What was that? I used 10 stamp sets on one card earlier. Felt like I was on a challenge. Hello, Lindy. Hope you had a lovely time with the grandchildren. So I'm just going to blend this out. Just blend. And you need a good cardstock. Cardstock is always important. And I'm just wiggling my brush just so that I get rid of those lines. And now I'm just flicking the water brush just so I make sure I leave a little white area in the centre. Just so I don't get too carried away. Just so I leave some white. Just because then it leaves an area highlighted in the middle of the jar. Because it feels like then it's got a natural highlight if I do that. If I just sort of, and then you can blend out your lines. If you've got any lines, you can blend them out again with your brush. Thanks, Belinda. Now I've got all these pieces cut out. So let's think about our design. So I've got all these cut out. So let's move these on one side. One side, what a joke. There is no side. And then I can show you what I'm thinking. So this is what I'm thinking of displaying. So I've got, oh, thanks, Diane. So what I'm going to do is just, I always do this. I play around with my design first before I stick anything down. It is a bit of a pain because you get to watch me sort of faff around with the composition before I stick anything down. But I want you to see where I'm going. So this is where I'm going. And I will faff for ages because that's just me. So it's sort of going like this, but it's going to take some faffing. Like so. So it's going to be something like this. It's no problem, Karen. You can easily come back and watch on catch up, no problem at all. So what I'm going to do is I've sort of got a visual of where I'm going. So I've sort of got a visual. So what I want to do is add the pieces that need to go down first. I love messing with fussy cut elements. I have to mess a little bit. It's just the way I am. So what I'm going to do is add my circle just to make my flowers pop. Just to make them pop a little bit. Just place this around about there. Let me make sure. So before I stick anything down, I'm just making sure that that circle is in the roundabout the right position. That's fine. And then what I'm going to do, just add a little bit of detail to this circle. Thanks, Sally. Faffing's the best bit. I spend my life faffing. Louise, I spend my life faffing. So what I'm going to do is just add a little touch of stamping to this circle. And I want the touch of stamping in the background to be the same blues. So I'm going to use those Ecoline pens. So I'm going to use the paler colour on the text stamp from my toucan stamp set. So I'm going to add my pen directly to the text. So I'm just scribbling the pen directly on my stamp set. And I'm just going to test whether I need to spritz with water or not. So I'm just going to test it first. No, I don't need to spritz with water, so that's absolutely fine. You can spritz with water, you stamp, and you'll get a more watercolour effect, especially if you're stamping with flowers. But I'm just stamping with the text. It means that if I use those, oh, thank you, Christine. If I use the Ecoline pens, it means that I'm getting the exactly same colour in the background as the foreground. So I'm just adding a little bit of stamping here and there, just so that that circle looks like I've placed it there and it's part of the composition. So I'm just going to wipe that up and place my stamp back, or else it'll never be found again, ever to be seen. So I'm just going to place that back. And I do love a good faff, I must admit. Hello, Sarah. Oh, I love using the Ecoline pens straight on the stamps. And if you use it with the flower stamp straight onto the stamp and spritz with water, it looks stunning. Because I did that on the craft store and it just looks, fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my jar. And I want that to be a little bit 3D. So I'm going to use my 3D foam, which also means if I use that 3D foam, it means that I can place the flower stems behind the jar. So it looks like they're going behind the jar. So I'm going to add 2 pieces of 3D foam. And everybody's asking if Louise as well. So I'm just going to add that 3D foam and just add a little bit of adhesive just to make sure it stays nice and strong. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive. And what I'm going to do is just bend, I'm just going to dome that jar a little bit, like so. Now, because I've added the 3D foam, it means that I can add the flower behind here and then draw the stems in. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And this is where I really do faff. So what I want to do is I want to add some, spit it out, Tracy, sisal nest. I want to add some sisal nest just to give me some texture. So I'm going to add some of my sisal nest, not neck, nest, to my background, just so it just adds a few touches to the background. And it's a little bit of a faff because I like faffing a little bit. Oh, thanks, Vanessa. So I'm just faffing a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these leaves, and the leaves will be just adhered with my PVA glue. They won't be adhered with any 3D foam. I will adhere my flower with 3D foam, but not the leaves, just so the flower is at a different level to everything else. So I know that I want to place one here, just so I can see some of that text behind. And I'm just going to add my clock as well, just to give, and that's going to be 3D'd. And I want to 3D the clock just to give me a little bit more dimension. Sometimes I want dimension, sometimes I don't, depending on the design. But the whole point of this piece is that you see that the background stamps can be used in different ways. So I've just got some of that 3D foam, and we're just going to place this here, Don't worry, it will all blend in with the design when we add the flowers, etc. So I'm just going to add this one, probably there. And it's great that it's got that 3D foam at the back of the jar, just because it allows me that movement behind the jar to get everything in. So I'm just going to place that in and place that down. Now, if you notice, I haven't pressed everything down. I've left some of the leaf sticking up. And then what I want to do is place this flower down in here. And I can keep messing with, that's it, I can keep messing with the leaves as much as I want. So just, let's cut some pieces for the flower. And I'm going to add some more sisal nest to this flower, which I've just chucked somewhere. So I'm just going to add some more sisal nest for texture. What you need to make sure when you add in the sisal nest, you just need to make sure that you add enough adhesive. If you don't add enough adhesive, then it'll come unstuck. So you do need to make sure that you stick that down nice and securely. I hope not, Diane. I hope not. Do you know what I think it is, Diane? I think it's talking too much. Hello, Karen. Hello there. I think it's talking too much, you know. That's my problem. Add a little bit of adhesive down here. So I'm just now going to stick my flower just down. There we go. And the flower's going to have a little bit of dimension. Just so that you can see that it's just got a little bit of dimension on the flower. Just so that you can see that. And what I like is you've still got a little touch of that blue of the stamping peering through the circle. But when you've got your sisal nest, you need to make sure that you've got everything stuck down. Dry throat. I think I need to stop talking, Diane. That's my problem. I talk too much. So what I'm going to do now is find another piece of card. And then what I'm going to do is grab my stamp set that had got the clock on again. So can you see that we've got this clock here? Well, I want to use this label here on the Wildflower stamp set. So I want to use the little label. Thanks, Chris. So I'm going to now use this little label. Using my black Nocturne ink, which I've just got some ink on there. We don't want that. I think that might be what it is, Jan. The fact that I've got the heating on and I'm talking as well, I think it's drying my throat because we're not used to the heating on, are we? So I think that's what it is. That's what I'm saying anyway. That's my excuse. So I'm just adding my little label. And then I'm going to add the word garden, which is from the same stamp set. And that'll fit inside my label. Ian always says I talk too much. That's my problem. Oh, thank you, Lindy. The sisal I got from Hobbycraft. I think it was £3, Sally. Sisal nest. So I'm just going to place the word garden inside my label. Just so that we've got that inside. And hopefully Tracy has cut one out. Let's just make sure my hands are nice and clean. So I've now got this garden label that I want to tuck inside my project. And again, I want it a little bit 3D'd. So we're just going to add a bit of 3D foam. And Amazon have it as well, apparently, the sisal nest. I just went for wherever the cheapest place was at the time, which at that time seemed to be Hobbycraft, but everybody's prices change by the day every time I look. So I'm just going to add some 3D foam. Thank you, Sue. A man would say we talk too much. Yeah. Ian always says I talk too much and that's why I lose my voice. He's not as caring as Diane is. He just thinks I just need to shut up. So I'm just going to tuck this behind the vase. And this is why it's wonderful to add that 3D element to the vase. So I'm just going to lift it up again just so you can see how that pop of blue in the background really echoes the pop of blue in the flower and the little touch of blue in the stamping. Oh, thanks, Julie. And then what I've done is I've used, which one have I used now? I've used the flower text that's here on the worded petals. So I've used the flower text and I've actually stamped it onto a piece of card like so. So the piece of card is going to go here. Generally because we're saying something they don't want to hear. No, you're not. You're just slightly more caring than my husband. That's what it is, Diane. I'm chilling and having a gin. Julie, that's exactly what my husband's doing, in peace, because I'm not talking at him. Oh, thank you, Victoria. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is just add a bit of adhesive there and here, just on the edges. And I'm just going to place that just over the top there. Just lift it a little bit, just so it goes over the top, like so. And just give it a few seconds just for that adhesive to grab, because you need a few minutes for that adhesive to grab, because you've got those bits of sisal that are scattered around. And what I like about this the most is the fact that that background stamp looks nothing like the background stamp because we've made it look different. Oh, I'm glad you'll give it a go, Linda. Thank you. So what I'm going to do now you've guessed it, we're going to have to add a blackbird, because I just love the blackbirds. So I'm going to grab my little blackbirds, which I think are the most used stamp ever, because they just appear on everything. Let's put the lid on that adhesive. Do you know, and it's quite nice, sort of doing a demonstration in the evening, especially when it's cold outside. We're getting into that kind of weather where we craft a little bit more, I think. I tend to anyway. So I just use this blackbird all the time. I drive everybody potty. So what I'm going to do is just ink with my Versamark Nocturne ink. Just make sure it's got a good inking. The little blackbird, and I'm never ever not going to use the blackbird. I'll just have to tell you that now. My wire is in the way of my card, so I'm just going to stamp my blackbirds. Have I got that one? Have I got that one, Chris? Could you remind me what I've got, Chris? Oh, that's made me laugh, that has. Remind me what I've got, Chris. It has become my signature mark, Chris. You know me, Chris. I always have to have one. You know what I'm like by now. And I want the blackbird that's facing this way, so I'm going to go for this one. And I often have blackbirds cut up in preparation, but of course I didn't. So we're going to cut that blackbird out. It doesn't take long to cut out, to be fair, but I've normally got one cut out. But hey, I can't be too organised, or else you'll all be, you know, you'll all be in shock if I've got everything cut out. So I did have to cut something. So I'm just cutting around the blackbird. I can't believe it's Monday again tomorrow. I mean, just where does the time go? I just feel like it was 2 seconds ago that I was at the craft store. So what I'm going to do is just find my cut and dry foam. I should have a black one somewhere. But of course, if I want black, I won't be able to find it, will I? There we go. So I've just got a piece of... oh, hi, Susan. Got another piece of cut and dry foam with black on, just so that those black edges are just coloured. Just so that we colour those white edges black. Hope you're well, Susan. I heard you weren't very well, so I hope you're feeling better. I have a stupid question. Is there a trick to get your squares evenly positioned on the black card? That isn't a stupid question, Kay, at all. What I do with mine is, I always, when I've got my card, so if I just get this square piece of card, I lay them out first, and I always lay my centre ones in the centre of the card first, like this. I lay the centre ones, get them evenly spaced, and then I get my others and place them out, and when they're all placed out and evenly spread, I then stick them down. But I always do the centre first. Oh, I'm glad you're much better, Susan. That's lovely to hear. So I always start with the centre, get them right, and then evenly spread the others out, and then adhere them down. But that's not a silly question. I actually get asked that quite frequently, to be fair. So that's not a silly question at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my Blackbird, because I just love adding the little Blackbird. So I'm going to take the Blackbird, and I'm not going to add him to 3D foam. I just want him adhered to the card. So we're just going to add him here. Just place that down. Like so, just so he sits there on the card. Just make sure I haven't missed any messages. He would have no legs if I cut him. No, you're just sort of a suggestion of his legs. You can, it's quite easy. Once you've done it a few times, it's quite easy. So it never looks right unless you mat and layer it. You need to mat and layer. So what I'm going to do is I've created a white mat that's 1/4 of an inch bigger. So this was 6.5 inches square, the black mat was. So it's 6 3/4 inches for the white mat. And I normally stand up just to add my mats and layers, just because I can see a little bit better. I can see a little bit better. And I'm just going to add a few highlights of Posca pen, just here and there. Not too many, just a few. And let's just wipe this mess up so we don't get in a total mess. And then what we need to do is add it to another black mat. So we had 6.5, 6 3/4. So this black piece is 7 inch by 7 inch. So we're now adding it to a black mat. I always think the matting and layering just makes it look, oh, thank you, Jan. It just makes it look a whole lot better. So we're just going to add this here. And then I've got a couple of finishing touches. So just add that there. We'll just bring this down a little bit. There we go, just so it's even. And then I've got, no problem, Hope. And then I've got a 7.5 inch piece, which is my square card blank, 7.5 inch square. Just placing it on a white card so I don't get it in a mess. So we've got the 7.5 inch piece of white card. So let's just add this here. Make sure it's facing the right way. Just place that on there. We'll just move that white layer now because we can't see. Just place that. Just give it a few seconds for that adhesive just to grab hold. And then I just want to add, where's it gone? Oh, thank you, Julie. And if you look at it, it looks completely different to that one. And what I'm going to do just to finish is just add a little dome over the F for flower. And that is our card finished. showing you that you can have your stamps looking completely different. And I'll bring another card in as well to show you it looking different again. So just so that you can see that each time when you use your stamps, it can look completely different each time. Oh, thank you, Hope. I'm hoping to do, thank you, Hope. I'm hoping to do more Facebook Lives anyway, just to keep the ideas flowing. But I just love how it looks different. And I'll lift that up so that you can see the shading just in the flower. You can see the dimension in the flower. You can see the colour. The F will dry clear, but it looks completely different to those other two. Oh, thank you, Karen. Thanks, Kerry. And it's just to give you some different ideas with your cards. That one I coloured with coloured pencils, but it just gives you totally different concepts for your cards. It makes everything look totally different. And I think it's really important to show how your stamps work. Oh, thanks, Vanessa. I'm going to do more lives, Vanessa. And I think what I'm going to do is do more lives now we're in the winter dark nights. So I'm going to do more lives, try and come up with more ideas for the stamps. Sometimes I'll do a journal page, or sometimes I'll do a mixed media, or sometimes I'll do a card. But now we're getting to the darker nights, I think I'm going to do a few more lives anyway, just to keep us going. So that's tonight's live. Oh, thanks, Jill. You're very welcome. Oh, thanks, Bev. So it's been lovely to have your company, and Belinda's been able to stay before she goes work. Yay! So pleased you'll be able to stay, Belinda. I'll actually put this card up tomorrow when I can photograph it in beautiful daylight so that you can see it properly in close-up pictures. Oh, thank you, Gabriella. Thank you. So hopefully I'll be back very soon. So have you got anything planned for the week? Anything interesting for the week? Definitely, Karen. That'll be a definite. You're very welcome, Victoria. You're very welcome, Vanessa. And I'll draw the winner of the giveaway. I'll probably draw it Tuesday or Wednesday, sometime Tuesday or Wednesday. It'll all come down to whatever's on during that day. Oh, thank you, Jane. I've enjoyed trying to craft along. Nowhere near finished, but we'll do it later. That's brilliant, Jane. Can't wait to see. Thanks, Diane. So thank you very much, everybody. And I'll see you all soon. Very soon, hopefully. Have a lovely week ahead. Bye, everybody. Bye.